Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about red black tree. Red black tree is a special kind of binary search tree which in a sense can self-balance. So first of all, I'm gonna show you what a self-balance is. In a tree, usually what you describe as balance is, for example, you got this tree, 3, 2, 1, and then 4 and then 5. The difference between subtrees, for example this subtrees, is it has one height difference between the left and the right, and also between the left subtree and the right subtree it has no height difference, which means this whole tree is balanced. So as you know, when you are creating a tree, the shape of the tree depends on the order of the element inputted. So for example, if you inputted 3 first and then 2 and then 4 and then 1 and then 5, this is the end product. This is what the tree will look like. But if you input the tree, for example, in ascending order from 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, what you're gonna get is 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. This is basically an unbalanced tree because from this subtree alone it has 2 height difference. This subtree has 3 height difference. This tree between the left and the right has 4 height difference, which means this tree is unbalanced. Now the problem with this kind of tree is, I'm gonna try to show you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you wanna try to search the tree, for example, for 1, it's not gonna be a big problem. It's gonna be right here. But if you are looking for 5, you have to iterate through the whole tree from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and then to 5. Now if you are doing for a 5 element tree and you are looking for the 5th element, then that's gonna mean you need 5 comparison operation. But if you are looking at a million element or 10 million element maybe, and or maybe a little bit smaller, 1,000 element maybe, and you're looking for the 1,000th element, that means you're gonna have 1,000 operation, which is gonna be slow. That is the general problem with tree, with binary search tree, the fact that it can be unbalanced. Compared to binary search tree, red black tree can self-balance, which basically means every time a new element inserted into it, it will check if the tree is balanced or not. How does it know if the tree is balanced or not? It is because binary red black tree have special properties which will help it keep its balance. Now, so because of those properties, we're gonna have to look at those properties first, so we can understand the algorithm in red black tree. So the first property is each node are either red or black, which is why it's called red black tree. So basically in a tree, usually the implementation you will have is one class for the tree and then one private class for the node, and the node will contain the element, whether it be a generic maybe, or integers or string, whatever, and then you will have the right reference and then the left reference. But in the case of red black tree, you will have one more, which is the color. It can be a string or it can be a bit. You can use bit, for example. You assign one for black or one for red and the other one for the opposite. And then the second property is the root is black. the third, all leaves nil is black. So basically nil is something like this. If you have 3 and then 1, this is not technically a red black tree, but I'm just using this to explain nil. So you have, this is in a regular tree, you have a null right here, right? In red black tree you will have a node which will be named nil, and you're gonna color it black. You're gonna have it color set to black, and then you assign it as the leaf. So you assign nil right here, right here, right here, and right here. So basically all of these points to one element, to one nil, the same nil, to save memory. Of course you wouldn't want to, you know, instantiate nil for each one of them, because that would not very memory efficient, because it's basically the same nil. You don't need different nil, of course. Now the fourth property is, if a node is red, then both children are black, which means you cannot have 2 red nodes in succession. I'm gonna show all of this, how they impact the insert algorithm and the delete algorithm, but for now just remember it, or you know, write it down, or whatever you want. Fifth property is, every path from a node to any given of its descendant nil nodes contain the same number of black nodes. Basically this is gonna be called red and black. This is, I didn't color it, but anyway, for example, if this should be black, I'm just gonna show you the color. This is black, and this will be red and red. So for example, if any path from the root, for example, or from the node to any of its leaf, will have the same number of black nodes. For example, you're checking the root. Any path from the root to any leaf will have the same number of black nodes, whether you're going from here to there, or there, or there. It has the same black nodes. Check it if you don't believe me. It has exactly 1 black nodes, any path to each leaf. Same thing for 2 right here, or 4. Now we're gonna try to talk about insertion algorithm after we just talk about rotation. So there is several cases that we need to deal with in insertion algorithm, because the insertion is affected by the properties of red black tree. Because of these properties, so basically in a red black tree you just insert the element as you would in binary search tree, you know, you traverse and whatnot, and then you insert each new element as a red element, and then you check if these cases happen, which means if these cases happen, which means the property has been violated, and then if a case is detected, we have an algorithm that will fix the tree. So for example, you have an empty tree right here. Now this is gonna be the first case. So in the first case, for example, you are inserting 6. This is clearly a violation of the second rule. Now the first case would be inserting a new node as a root. So the second rule states that root is black. So this is a violation. So we need to recolor the node as black. Just change the color. As black. Wait. Okay, just like that. And then the second case is that I'm gonna change it right here. Now this is the second case. You are inserting a new node, but the parent is black. For example, I'm inserting 4 right here. The parent is black. and it states that if a node is red, then both children is black. Each 4 children is black. Each nil is black, so which means 4 children is black. For example, you are insert right here also. This is also still a balanced tree, and none of the properties of red black tree is valid. So the second is probably this is actually not a violation, so probably you do not need to include this into your insert algorithm. If it happens, you just let it be. So I'm gonna try to construct a tree right here. Insert a new node, for example 6. This is root, so we color it black. Root is black, and then a new node, for example 4, and then 8, and then we're gonna, for example, this is the tree, what the tree look like at the start, and then you want to insert a new node, for example 3. Now when you insert 3, this is a special case which we call the third case. Now the signature of this case is that the parent will be red and the uncle will be red. So what we are going to do with this one is that the problem with this one is that there's 2 red nodes in succession right here. So we're gonna fix the first problem with just 2 red nodes in succession. We're gonna color the parent black because you cannot have 2 red nodes in succession, so it doesn't break the fourth rule. So we change this, change the parent of 3 to black. Change it to black. 4. Okay, so the fourth rule is not broken here, but the fifth rule is broken now, because if you traverse from root up to there to the leaf right here, it has 1 black node. Right there it has 1 black node, but right here it has 0 black node. That means the fifth rule is broken. So what we are going to do is we're gonna change the uncle to black, because we need to have the fifth rule. We need to fix the violation of fifth rule, which is every part from a node to any of its descendant has the same number of black nodes. So we just change that to black. Now this is not broken, but there is no rule that's broken, and there's also one thing else that we need to do, which is change the grandparent to red. Yeah, change the grandparent to red, because if it has for something like this, and then another 3, wait, what? Another sub 3 right here, and then there's the parent here, for example like 9, maybe like so 9, and then there's a 3 right here. Of course the children of 9, the right children will be like black, because if it has another children right there, it would be black, for example like this, and then this would be red. This is don't just 10, but for example this is 15, the right children of 9, and then there's 15 has 2 children, for example like 14 and 20. The problem is, if we don't change the grandparent right here to red, it's gonna create problem, because traversion from 9 to any of its descendant is not the same. If you go to the left, we're gonna have 2 black nodes. To any leaf on the left, you're gonna have 2 black nodes, but if you go to the right, you only have 1 black nodes, which is a problem. So we need to change the grandparent to red in case something like this happen. But okay, let's just change the grandparent to red first. Change the grandparent to red. 6. I mean red. Okay, now if there is a case like that, then red would be all red. But sometimes the grandparent can also be the root, and root cannot be red. So we must perform recursion and check if the grandparent is root. And in this case, it is a root, so we change it to black. Just like so. And that's it. That's the third case. Now we are going to talk about the fourth case of insertion. In the fourth case of insertion, there is some, what do I call it, signature of this condition happening. So the first one is that the parent will be red, the parent of the new node will be red, but the uncle will be black. And there's this kind of boomerang form, kind of V form. It can either happen like this or happen like this, G and then U, the opposite direction of this, the mirror of this. But it still has this, still has this same sort of V form or boomerang form, like that. Now, in order to fix this, we're gonna need the fifth case later on. So ideally, when the fourth case happen, after we perform some algorithm on this, we're gonna perform recursion on the parent of the new node. So first of all, we're gonna rotate the tree, rotate the parent the opposite direction. So in this case, the new node is on the right of the parent, so we rotate the parent to the left. In this case, the parent is the new node is on the left of the parent, so we rotate the parent to the right. So you need to check where is the new node, either on the left or on the right. If it is on the right, then we rotate the parent to the left. If it is on the left, then we rotate the parent to the right. After we rotate the parent, it will become something like this, right? Okay, and now we're gonna perform recursion on the parent. This, after the rotation, this is actually the tree turn to the signature of the fifth case, which is this straight line. Same thing happening here. I'm gonna I'm gonna delete this one. So this is actually the signature of the fifth case. This is actually the fifth case. So we will perform recursion on the parent. We perform the fifth case algorithm on the parent, but it does not necessarily mean that the fourth case need to happen before we move on to the fifth case. Sometimes you just have this kind of tree, and then you add new node over here, and then so it will actually become something like this. Parent and then new node, and that's also the fifth case. So to fix this, you rotate the grandparent the opposite from the previous rotation. In this case, we're rotating the grandparent to the left. In this case to the right. So the tree becomes something like this. Parent, grandparent, uncle, and new node. In this case, the right, so grandparent, uncle. I'm gonna just write the same thing so it doesn't get too complicated. And then you color the parent black and the grandparent red. Parent red. And the parent black. And that's how you fix the fourth and the fifth case in red black tree insertion. We're going to talk about the first case of red black tree deletion, of fixing red black tree deletion. The first case, if you delete a red node, for example, you have a root right here, and then not a root, let's not use root, it's parent, and then, or maybe I use numbers 14 and then 7, and then you have 16, 4, and then 12, and then 15, and then 18, and then 5, and then 17. Now, for example, you want to delete 7, then you would just replace it with the appropriate child. This one, not this one, as I said before, because this one is actually a lot easier than if you replace this one with this one. And that's basically it. That's how you delete a red color node and the child is also red. But in case the child is black, then you would do another kind of fixing. So you have, for example, 14 and then 7, then 16, then 4, 12, 15, and 18. 4, 12, 15, and 18. And you wanna delete 7. Then what you're gonna do is, you got no option but to choose this. So you're gonna replace the node to be deleted, which is 7, with the replacement. You can use also 4, which doesn't matter really. So you have 12 right here, and then you're going to recolor the sibling to red, sibling of the replacement to red. And that would be the second case, which is replacing a red node or deleting a red node with a black replacement. And another case would be the third case, which is basically deleting a black node and replacing it with a red node. So in this case, placing it with a red node. So in this case, you are just gonna what you are going to do is recolor the replacement as black, and just that. For example, you have 14 just as before here, and then 7, 16, 7, 16, 4, 12, 15, 18, 4, 12, 18. This is the third case. For example, you wanna delete I'm sorry, one more node. For example, you wanna delete something like this one, like 4, then you are gonna recolor the replacement as black, just as I said. Recolor 5 as black and then replace 4 with 5. And that's it, you're done. Now the fourth case. Now this is the most complicated case, because it's in this fourth case there is several cases. Also there's 6 cases inside this fourth case. First case of the fourth case. Now in the fourth case, if you are implementing it, you're gonna want to use a bunch of if, not else if and else if, but a bunch of if, because after you go from the first, sometimes the second case will happen, and then or the third case, or anything. And also there are some cases, not some, the third case need recursion to the first case. So for example, for the first case is you're going to replace a root. So you're replacing a black node with another black node, but this black node you're replacing is the root. So for example, something like 14, and then add 7, 16, and then 4, and then 12, and then 15, and then 18. So what you're going to do is replace the root with the replacement, and that's it. And that's it. But if you have something like this one, no, not 15, 5, like this one, then certainly this is not correct, because the number of black nodes over here is not the same. So you're gonna fix it with the other cases. With the other cases, because with the other cases, and this is only the first case, but technically, but the main thing is that if you are replacing a root, then just replace it and leave it as it is. So you put a if statement, if replacement is root, then return, or just break. Now for example, we wanna delete, then we are talking about the second case. For example, anyway, the second case is the sibling of the replacement is red. Sibling of the replacement is red. Cannot imagine cases, but anyway, the cases is something like this. parent, this is the replacement, this is what the replacement, this is where the replacement is. Replacement would be black, but the siblings would be red because it has children and children and children and whatever. So what you are going to do in this case is reverse the color of parent of the replacement parent and the sibling. So this is black, it becomes red, and the sibling is red, so it becomes black. And that's it, that's the second case. Now for the third case is if the parent, sibling, left children and right children of the sibling is black. So parent is black, replacement is black obviously, sibling left children and sibling right children, it's all black. Then you in this case you're gonna recolor the sibling to red. That's how you fix the third case. Now the fourth case. In this case is the parent is red, the sibling is black, the sibling left children and sibling right children is black. What we're going to do to fix this is reverse the color of siblings and parent. So S becomes red and P becomes black, and that's how you fix the fourth case. For the fifth case, you're gonna have a red sibling, actually a black sibling, and then you're gonna have the right children as black and left children as red. What you're going to do is rotate as the other way around, the opposite direction of the replacement. For example, you have this right here, this is the replacement, you're gonna rotate it the other way around. So because this is the left children, you're going to rotate the S the opposite direction, which is right. So you're gonna have something like this. Right sibling left and S sibling right. And after that you're gonna reverse the color of S and S parent, which is now sibling left. So you're gonna have sibling left and sibling as red, and that's how you fix the fifth case. And for the sixth case, we have a black sibling, sibling right is red, parent right here. Now the parent in this case can be any color, whether black or red, but the important thing is that whatever the color it is, when if for example the parent and sibling right color is exchanged and parent is black, then the end result would be sibling right would be black and parent would be red, and vice versa. For this case, for example, we have black is right, then what we are going to do is rotate P the same way of R. So R is right here. This is, if you look closely, actually you will notice that this is the end result of the fifth case. So there's the other one right here, which is black. This was previously sibling left, sibling, and sibling right. So for this case, you are going to rotate P the same way as R, because R is on the right, on the left. Then you rotate P to the left. So what you will have is P S, and then sorry about that, S, and then color is wrong. And now we're going to reverse the color of parent and sibling, because they are both black. Then reverse of color does not occur, so we just leave it black, and then we change the color of sibling right to black, so this is black. And that's how you fix the sixth case. Now each of these cases, as I said, you can use tail recursion. You can look it up on, actually, if you don't know what tail recursion is that you set a method, and then at the end of operation for that method you call another method, and then that other method can call other method too. That is called tail recursion. Basically, at the end of one method you call another method, or you can use a bunch of if.